Today's video is going to be a Cricut beginner's tutorial on how to make these personalized Easter bags or baskets, super cute, from the Dollarama. Now for the purposes of this video, I'm going to explain that the Happy Easter and the bunny face was actually already on it from the dollar store, so all I had to do was add the personalization. Super easy and a great beginner craft to start off with. So let's get right into how I did this. We are starting off in Cricut Design Space. So first you're going to hit this little text bar on the left hand side if you're not too familiar, and then you're going to type in the name that you are going to be personalizing here. Then you can choose whatever font you like. I personally like this little bit of a cursive font. The only thing is they do not get connected, so you're going to have to hit ungroup and then connect them that way like I am manually. My little hack to make it all one level is I move it up a little bit so it's on the line, and then I adjust accordingly. So now we're gonna hit weld to get them all together so they cut as one big name and not in different separate cuts for each letter. As you can see, it did fill in the A, which happens a lot of the time when you're trying to fix the font yourself. All you have to do is pull the letter a little bit more apart and then try welding it again. Next thing I'm going to do is measuring it out. So I've already pre-measured it, and this is the measurements that I have for my vinyl. We are using heat transfer vinyl for this video. That is my favorite type of vinyl to use just because it's so easy, and I just think it makes for a really great beginner's project. So now we are ready to make this item. So now it's going to bring you to this portion of the Cricut Design Space. You're going to want to make sure on the left hand side that you hit mirror image, because this is heat transfer vinyl. You're going to want to mirror the image. Heat transfer vinyl does come with the plastic sheet already attached, so you do not need transfer tape. This is the reason that you are mirroring the image on Cricut Design Space, because when you put it onto the material, then it will be facing the proper way once you're going to heat it down. At the same time, make sure that your settings on your actual Cricut is set to iron on. Now you're ready to go, you can hit continue. You're going to want to load the Cricut mat and you are ready to cut. We're going to let our Cricut do its little thing and do its cutting. I just love watching it do its little cuts. It's just so cute. Now that the Cricut is done cutting, you can unload your mat and you are ready to peel back the vinyl and start weeding. Heat transfer vinyl I find is very easy to weed. It kind of just peels up on its own, so it's not that tricky. So it's great for those beginners. The next step is doing the actual heat transfer. So for the purposes of this video, I'm actually using an iron. I figured most beginners wouldn't have a heat press yet, and it's not honestly really necessary to have a heat press. I used an iron for 4 years until I could get a heat press and use an iron, or even a straightening iron for your hair works great. I've used this for many projects like this. If you are using the iron, you're going to want to use a hard wooden surface like I'm using here, my table, and I have an ironing mat underneath or something, just kind of fabric underneath to protect the table. As well as I like to use parchment paper or wax cooking baking paper. I put one piece inside to make sure that it doesn't adhere to the other side of the basket, and the next piece I put over top to protect the entire image and the actual basket itself. Next, you're going to want to apply the heat. So when you're putting your iron on, make sure you are putting enough pressure that it is able to actually do the heat transfer, but you're not keeping the iron in one spot for too long because you do not want to burn anything or melt anything. Moving the iron back and forth with enough pressure, and after about 30 to 40 seconds, you should be good to go and it should peel up just fine. I also wanted to mention some heat transfer vinyl is a cool peel and some heat transfer vinyl is a warm or hot peel, meaning some of them you're just going to want to check the label before you do it. Some of them you can peel it as soon as you take the iron off. Other ones they require you to wait for it to cool down, otherwise it can just peel back up. So just make sure which one you're using before you start peeling away. You don't want to ruin anything that you just did. And that is it. So I'm just pretty much doing the same process again for the next one, and this is how they turned out. They turned out really cute. It was honestly such a quick 15-minute craft and a great craft for beginners because heat transfer vinyl I find is just so easy to work with and really forgivable. Thank you so much for watching. Happy crafting, and I'll see you all quite soon. Bye!